I'm really. What is the purpose of to grow a tree?
Well, the main purpose of To Grow a Tree, firstly, is to touch on the experiences of international students. And these experiences are very relevant because they are very useful to the people experiencing them, first of all, because they're the ones going through the issues that the experiences bring. And they have to find ways of coping with the challenges that they are faced. Living in a new country, having to adapt and get by every day. And secondly, the documentary is useful to non international students as well. It's a nice way of hearing firsthand about lived experiences. So, for anyone who ever thought about what it may feel like being an international student abroad, this documentary does well in touching on some challenges that international students face, some concerns that they have as they find out what it means to be a person of a certain nationality or culture in a new country. And as we live in a diverse society, Coventry and the UK in this instance, it's useful to understand the differences that exist within us as well as the similarities. But in this case, differences. And this is for the purpose of gaining an understanding about how to coexist with people of different backgrounds and just having a feel of what life in their shoes looks like.
Why did you make a documentary on this topic? What exactly does it mean to you?
Well, the topic is very personal to me because I have been an international student since 2012. And I remember arriving as a 17-year-old and feeling lost and feeling confused in so many instances. And that that hasn't really gone away completely in so many ways. I have still had to deal with that feeling as I still rely on my culture from my country that I experienced growing up, as well as the culture that I've gained whilst being in the UK and finding out how to navigate both of these cultural differences. And for other international students, it's useful because um, there is a desire to get the voice of the self, the international student, out, and there is a desire to be understood. And it is very useful to put together stories of individuals in the platform, in the medium of multimedia, and get it out there.
What did you learn from the process of creating the documentary?
Mm. Well, I've learned to be more empathetic and understanding towards other people of different ethnicities and cultures and backgrounds. And this is mainly because for somebody of a different background now living in a background that in a space that they're not used to, in a country that they're not used to, it can be very tricky to find out how you will establish belonging in your newfound environment, how you will make friends with people, and how you'll be able to carry out living with the values that were instilled in you before you got to that country, and finding out how to negotiate uh, a type of practical way of acting all of this out in a space that offers different economic and environmental conditions to you. From a production perspective, I have learned to um, have fun whilst working. That's very important. And I've learned to embrace input from different backgrounds and perspectives. And I just want to say thanks to members of my production team. So that includes Ade, Niha, Grace, Ilian, Christian, Igor. Mo and his friend Hassan, who helped out one day, Jonathan, and everybody else who played a role in getting these stories out.
What would you like your viewers to take from Segurity?
I would like my viewers to come in to the multimedia space of the documentary with an open mind, and as much as possible to try and avoid watching with presuppositions in mind about who you think these people are, because that may in so many ways limit the way that you understand what they're saying and the capacity to which you are able to understand and empathize and um, think about the experiences that they have to face and think about what it must be like to be an international student living in the UK and abroad. And I'm also hoping that it would make a difference, no matter how small, to the way that you perceive of people of different backgrounds. They may not be international students, but just having a new understanding of the fact that although the challenges of somebody else may look kind of strange or weird to you, they are very significant to the person experiencing them.
What are your future plans from here moving forward?
Well, obviously, I'm a research student, so that is my first priority. But apart from that, I am looking to produce films in the future. So that would include documentaries and short films for now. And I would like to explore some of the themes that I'm interested in, such as internationalization, identity, mental health, and even more, hopefully.
And cut.